But then again, if you believe that evidence had been played with anyway, so what? But to the best of my knowledge, that is the only incriminating evidence against O.J. that they didn't get to hear. There were a hell of a lot of things that were potentially exculpatory, I believe is the word, that they didn't get to hear, and that I'd be pissed about.
When the jury took such a short time, I won $100. I called up everybody I could and bet him $20 because I knew that he was found innocent. Because all you have to have is one reasonable doubt. And granted, they're not supposed to think about the trial until all evidence is presented. That's the only way they could have figured it out so quick, was to have one reasonable doubt. Because to prove him guilty, they would have had to go through everything. You know, it would have just taken forever. But if you have a doubt, and you've had that maybe for 2 months, and everybody has the same doubt or same 2 or 3 doubts, then it's pretty quick, open, closed case.
Hey, thanks much, dude.
All right.
Be good.
Bye.
The one thing I will feel vindicated for all the time I have spent on this. The one thing that I really, really, really want to hear is whether or not Marcia's final exhibit, this pyramid of unrefuted evidence, where I thought there was such a sore thumb on the first level. You know, at 9:35 they did this, and at 10:02 they did this, and at 10:17 they did this. Oh, by the way, somebody said they saw the Bronco pulling away. No time on that. And then at 10:52 there was a thumping on the wall. I just thought, Marcia, you're pointing out that evidence doesn't fit your damn story by not putting the time there. For God's sake, take a chance and put the time up, and maybe they'll not notice. But by not putting the time on that one little block, I thought, whoa. And I wonder if that had anything to do with them coming back and listening to Park's testimony again.
Or, as that nice Kara Bauer pointed out this morning, we were all gathered in the newsroom waiting for the verdict.
Decent woman she is.
Yes,
a polite woman to her elders.
She said, maybe the jury just wanted to screw with him. Shake them up. Just pick out something totally off the wall. Can we hear that again? And
well, of course, I just hit my car last night as the announcement of the verdict was hitting the air.
Yep.
And so I'm driving home the whole time, and I'm just dying 1,000 deaths. Just dying because it looks so bad. Then I get home and I find out they didn't look at him. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Oh, this is it. Throw away the key. Oh, God. Oh, here, another cause I've taken on where I'm wrong. Oh, Jesus.
No. I knew last night, as soon as I heard that verdict came down that early.
And then watching
not guilty.
Watching the mouthpieces on Geraldo last night, who were just in a state of shock. They didn't know. None of them knew what in the hell to say, but they had 2 hours in which they had to say it.
Oh, it was bad enough.
Just
I had to watch
back and
Greta
forth
leading up to it. That was enough. Greta and what's his name?
Watch it.
Well,
I mean, granted, I do have Kathleen Sullivan now, but just watch it. I'm very protective of my old girlfriends. It's 5:16.
Their antlers.
And now, an AM 620 WSUN Traffic Patrol Update. Here's Chris Walker.
Northbound 275 around Sly, you have an accident in the median causing some visual delays, and you still have injury accidents on the Pinellas side at Highland north of Palmetto. Landmark in 580 in Belchurch, Starkey, and 126th Street. Treasure Island Causeway and 79th Street, you got a crash, and westbound Howard Franklin slow into the 4th Street construction zone. You had an earlier wreck. It was moved off to the side, and that's what caused those slowdowns. Chris Walker, AM 620 WSUN Traffic Patrol.
Now, the AM 620 WSUN Stock Market Update, brought to you by Greg Cunningham and Bill Hoyt of Raymond James & Associates.
Stocks were off, but rebounded from the slide that was triggered by features-related sell programs and profit-taking in high-tech issues. Bonds were higher in short covering as Johnson Red Book rise was 1.4% versus 1.3% the week before. The Dow closed down 11 at 47.49 on a volume of 385 million shares. Stocks of local interest include Eckerd closing down a half at 40 5/8, Tech Data down a quarter at 14, and Danka down 5/16 at 36 1/4. Reporting for Bill Hoyt, this is Scott Brown.
When you're ready to retire from the rat race, will you be able to kick back and relax in that new beach house? Take a trip to that exotic locale you've always wanted to visit? Or will your dreams be washed away like castles in the sand? Not if we can help it. Tune in to Street Talk with Bill Hoyt and Greg Cunningham of Raymond James & Associates, member New York Stock Exchange. Saturdays from 7 to 8 a.m. here on AM 620 WSUN. Street Talk with Greg Cunningham and Bill Hoyt. Saturdays from 7 to 8. Don't miss it.
Thanksgiving, 1895, the day of America's first auto race. It was a snowy 55-mile course stretching from Chicago to Waukegan. Of the 80 cars that entered, only 6 managed to leave the starting line. Only 2 finished. The winner's average speed, 7.5 miles an hour. But American auto racing had begun. And today, 100 years later, there's just no stopping. And so, in celebration of this great sport, Circle K is proud to announce an incredible offer. Right now, when you fill up with $5 or more of Circle K Performance gasoline, you'll not only help maximize your engine's performance, you'll also drive away with a collectible stock car for just 99 cents. There are 4 cars in all, each a replica of the car raced by Ricky Rudd, Sterling Marlin, Terry Labonte, or David Green. There's a different car each week, plus a free display case with your first car while supplies last. Collect the whole set, only at Circle K.
Hello, this is Gary Spivey, Psychic to the Stars, and remember, I come on right after Bob Lassiter from 6 to 8 p.m. here on AM 620 WSUN. Now, back to my sales manager at Spivey's Corner, Mr. Bob Lassiter.
You're so damn obstinate, you bastard.
During National Car Care Month, some stations will give you free rust-proofing, free auto detailing, free car washing.
But this station is going to go them one better.
Because we're going to take total care of your car.
Just like it was our very own.
Just be the 10th caller when you hear this sound. And we'll borrow your car, tear up the upholstery, put out cigarettes on the dash, get drunk, and throw up in the back seat. And then sideswipe parked cars and other stationary objects in a high-speed police chase culminating in a devastating smash headlong into a brick wall.
And that should pretty much take care of your car.
Employees of this station are not eligible to have their cars taken care of because, frankly, we don't pay them anywhere near enough to own their own cars in the first place.
We're going to take total care of your car.
Because we're going to total it.
Keep listening for your chance to win.
21 minutes after the hour of 5 o'clock. Okay, so the best thing about the verdict being in, and the one thing that really, really, really pleases me is that tonight I will finally find out where that angel that I share my house with stands on this.
She hasn't said when we're there.
I honestly don't know.
Don't you even talk to her?
She brought it up this morning. We spent the entire morning talking about it. And she frequently brings it up. I frequently bring it up as well. But, if I'm in the room and I'm watching trial coverage, then she is glued to the television and comments, too. But I have only, in the entire time the trial has been on, which is, a year. In the entire time it's been on, I have only caught her watching independently once. And several times I've asked her, and all she does is she kind of purses her lips together, I think that's the word, and shakes her head. And so tonight I'm going to demand. I want some answers.
Feels you have opinion enough for the both of you. It's probably what she feels.
She is a good woman. Let's go to Zephyr Hills. Hi, Zephyr. You're on the air at WSUN.
Good afternoon, soon to be king.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you doing today?
Excellent, thank you.
Good. If we may, let's get away from the fact that the trial is over now. And rehashing it is not going to do any good. O.J. is a free man, and whether or not he did it is now kind of a moot point. Do you have any thoughts on how this is going to affect his future life as far as his occupation?
Oh, well, his days as being a football commentator and a spokesman for large corporations are clearly over. Which I totally understand. A certain segment of the population will never, ever, ever believe that he's innocent, and consequently ain't nobody's going to want his product associated with O.J. Simpson. That's understandable.
Do you think that is going to also hold true for his movie career?
In all probability, sure, because movies are financed by banks. And I would be very, very, usually, I'm sure there are exceptions, but I would be stunned if, a major bank wanted to, again, have their good name affiliated with somebody that a lot of people think is guilty of murder. And on top of that, he's not going to need it. O.J. is going to do okay financially. Don't worry about it. He'll get all of his money back, plus a lot more. He will just spend the rest of his life basically as a recluse.
I kind of tend to disagree to a certain point on that. And that's based on the fact that our society tends to accept certain criminals or non-criminals in his case and almost make them heroes again.
You know, it all kind of depends on just how much of an egotist he is. This may come as a great surprise to you, but by and large, being a celebrity is not fun. It just pays terribly, terribly well, and so you put up with it. But I would venture a guess, and it's nothing more than a guess. Obviously, I've not queried all of celebrities in the world, but I would venture a guess that the vast majority of quote-unquote celebrities would be thrilled to disappear into the woodwork so long as they continue to have the same income.
Yeah, I'll agree with you 100% on that.
It's not fun.
Their lives are far more complicated than ours. I mean, they can't walk the streets like we can, and they can't eat at restaurants like, well, not you. I'm sorry, King. Like I can. But still, with this way our society is, the Mike Tysons and what's the mayor up in Washington, Marion Barry?
Right.
Even after being convicted and shown to be a lawbreaker, these people still come back into our society and go back into their life. In O.J.'s case, here's a man who was found innocent or not guilty, not convicted by a jury of his peers. And although I do agree that he may have a very tough time, it may just be that there's enough controversy in him that he becomes a symbol again.
I just don't see who would, who would touch him though. Who's going to finance this? You know how I feel about this case. You probably know a hell of a lot more than you'd like to know about how I feel about this case. But I'm telling you that I'm also a businessman. And I am not going to go and get O.J. to, endorse Lassiter cereal or Lassiter's car rental company or anything like that. Pat him on the back and wish him good luck and tell him that I was, behind him all the way. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. But when it comes to my pocketbook, a different story, O.J.
Well,
different story.
And again, I do think, though, and I appreciate what you're saying, but it may be the Chicago Bulls just traded for Dennis Rodman.
Right.
Extremely controversial figure.
Yes, but nobody suggested he butchered two people.
No.
Just that he's an asshole.
Right. But O.J. is an innocent man. And wouldn't it be a plum in somebody's fruit basket to take O.J. and get him back into society where people can again, if they enjoy his acting ability, if you want to call it that, or his commercial.
Let's say you're the chairman of the board of Hertz Rent-A-Car.
Okay.
And you decide that this was really a travesty. I really like the guy. He did a great job for us. Let's rehire him.
Okay.
The first thing that's going to happen is your personal attorney is going to get you on the phone, and he's going to say, "Are you crazy?"
I might tell him yes.
Well, now he's going to start talking realistically to you, and he's going to say, "What if the profits drop 20% next year? The shareholders are going to sue you personally, and they're going to win."
What if the profits go up?
It's not worth the risk.
Well, that's debatable.
And on top of that, every time I see a Hertz commercial in the future with O.J. jumping over the chairs at the airport, let's be honest here. What is the first thing that's going to go through your mind? Oh, what a fine company Hertz is. That's the guy they said killed his wife. No. You don't want your company or product associated with that.
Then am I reading into this that you think, and maybe yourself thinks the same way, that a majority, or at least a lot of the people in the United States or in the world think that O.J. might have done it, but got off on whatever technicalities you want to say?
Well,
there's still that lingering doubt.
Well, you know
nobody's been found.
You know what the polls are, and the polls are very, very clear that a significant number of the American people, a very significant number of white people, believed, and probably still do today, that O.J. was guilty.
Right. And that belief will never leave them.
You know, we can sit here and intellectualize for the rest of the afternoon and all day tomorrow and the day after that why their thinking may well be flawed, but that doesn't make any difference if their thinking is flawed. Not when it comes to, hiring him to endorse your company.
Right. Okay, I just...
Oh, no, that end of his life is over. Just the mere suspicion. Nobody's going to touch you. I don't know if you remember, or even if you heard the show, it was a couple of weeks ago, but I was talking about, we were talking about a racist cop. And, I had mentioned that, racism is in of itself irrational, and so therefore irrational behavior on the part of a racist should frankly not be any great surprise to you. And I had used myself as an example. Suppose... my wife had been brutally murdered. I've got an airtight alibi. I'm in Paris. I can prove it. But some crazy black cop who's a white racist dropped some evidence linking me to the crime. Well, first of all, it's going to be, it's going to cost me some money to get out of it.
Right.
But worse than that, forever and ever and ever as a public person, people will remember. I'm going to be called into the general manager's office and told that they really feel bad about this. But they can't have me, affiliated with the station. And advertisers and listeners are calling and complaining. No, you destroy a public person with any type of a suggestion like that. Marion Barry that you brought up, that's a different story. That's politics. He's not an entertainer. Let's face
What's more important?
Well, I don't know if you're a boxing fan or not, and if so, I'm going to insult you horribly here, but let's face it, people that go and watch two other people try to kill each other in the middle of a ring, what are they going to worry about? Rape, schmape, who cares,
Yeah.
No, we're talking about good, wholesome family entertainment here in the case of O.J. Simpson. Maybe somebody will hire him to do a porno flick or something, but he ain't going to go work for Disney.
Well, just as a parting comment, I can't help but think that our society is obviously warped, but it's really in bad shape if we don't accept the fact that a man can go to trial and be found not guilty and then go back into society and become a useful human being again. And that's pretty much what I hear you saying.
Well,
that our society just won't let it happen.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, you can never prove yourself innocent. I was going to jump on this a little bit earlier in the conversation when you used interchangeably not guilty, innocent.
Mm-hmm.
You can never prove yourself innocent. All you can do is be found not guilty.
Yeah.
And that is sufficient reason to hold it against you for a lot of people. Okay?
Appreciate it much.
Hey,
and take care of Miss Sharon. Be nice to her. At least one day this week. Be nice to her.
At least once.
Okay, Saturday.
Something different.
No, not Saturday. This
Saturday.
week on the show.
Oh, no, wait a second. Now you're making a second request. I only grant one request per caller. You said one day to be nice to her.
Yeah.
It's Saturday.
Okay, I'll get you next week then.
Okay. Bye. It's 5:31.
Now, an AM 620 WSUN Traffic Patrol update. Here's Chris Walker.
Latest injury accident in St. Petersburg on the St. Pete Beach Causeway, and still going to find they're wrapping up an accident up in Clearwater on Highland north of Palmetto, and one at Landmark in 580. Also in Hillsborough County northbound 275, they're finding a slow go-around slide because of an earlier accident in the median causing some visuals. And if you're traveling on the westbound Howard Franklin Bridge, expect a little bit of a delay this afternoon approaching the 4th Street construction zone. Stacked up a little bit earlier because of a wreck there right around the 4th Street construction zone, but it is all cleared off to the side. This report is a service of GTE MobileNet. Sign up with GTE MobileNet and we'll give you 60 minutes of long-distance calling. Call 1-800-733-GTE1 by December 2nd for your free hour of long distance. US 19 north of 49th Street, southbound US 19 north of 49th Street, just coming in with an accident. Chris Walker, AM 620, WSUN Traffic Patrol.
Hey, Sharon, what do you think the top story is tonight over the 28 Tampa Bay News Center? Let's check in with Marty and Brendan and find out. I'm curious.
I'm Marty Tucker.
And I'm Brendan McLaughlin. The big story today, the verdict.
In the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, we, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder.
O.J. Simpson is a free man tonight. All across the nation, people are reacting to the verdict. 28 Tampa Bay News has complete coverage of what's happened since.
Also, the verdict may mean that the trial of the century is over, but in another way, things are just getting started once again for O.J. Simpson. And we'll explain that tonight on 28 Tampa Bay News at 6.
Of course, the Simpson verdict isn't the only news going on. A strong hurricane is swirling in the waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Are we in any danger of meeting up with Hurricane Opal? The complete details, including your local forecast, tonight, beginning at 6 on 28 Tampa Bay News, working hard to be your favorite.
Hi, this is Jack and Mike, and welcome to Car Tips on the Air. Cheryl from Hollywood, you're on the air.
Like, every time I stop for a light, there's some bozo next to me waving and throwing me kisses. Do you think my sports car's attracting him? Should I trade it in for a clown car?
Hey, Cheryl, it sounds like you're attracting the guys. Keep the sports car and get some privacy by installing Solar Guard window tint film.
Yeah, you'll find Solar Guard window tint film increases privacy, keeps you cool, and makes that sports car of yours look even cooler.
Solar Guard meets all legal requirements, so you'll still have a clear view of the world around you, and if Mr. Right pulls alongside, hey, roll down the window.
Yeah, hey, just be sure to specify Solar Guard film because there is a difference. Solar Guard resists bubbling, fading, and turning purple, unlike that other junk you see around town.
And Solar Guard has a lifetime transferable warranty. Got that, Cheryl? Solar Guard window tint film, available from your Solar Guard dealer.
Look for the Solar Guard logo in the yellow pages under glass coating and tinting for the name and phone number of your nearest Solar Guard dealer.
Don't miss Hooters on the radio, weekdays 10 a.m. till 2 on AM 620 WSUN. Entertaining talk radio.
5:35 the time, about 25 minutes away from the hour of 6 o'clock. Okay, Sharon, I'll honor your request. You just remember that now, eh?
Bobby.
Just remember that.
I love you too.
No, you owe me, Sharon. Let's go to... Sharon was just talking about something off the air that as she heard the theme music coming back, she suddenly realized she shouldn't have been talking about and was begging and pleading, offering to fulfill any fantasy I might have, do any chore that might need, being done.
Oh, God. I'll grow antlers for you, Bobby.
Won't be necessary, Sherry. Just remember this.
Thanks, Hurricane. Yeah,
let's go to St. Petersburg. Hi, St. You're on the air at WSUN.
Yes, Mr. Lassiter.
Yes, sir.
This is my first time.
All right. There you go.
I wanted to bring something to your attention, and when individuals have been calling, they've been saying about O.J. Super Bowl ring. O.J. don't have a Super Bowl ring.
That's true.
Oh, okay, I want to clear that part up.
Actually, I don't think
that's the Hall of Fame ring.
I don't think it was callers that said that. I believe I am the one who has said that at least a half a dozen times, probably more. And I am the one who keeps bringing it up and the one who is incorrected.
Okay.
You're correct. Hall of Fame ring.
Right, that was a Hall of Fame ring. Another thing you were saying about you're saying he don't have a job. Of coming out and doing certain sports commentation.
Right.
I'm looking, and I wouldn't have bet you a quarter on the side. Not this year. If this year, at the end of the season, next year, look for him to be on Fox.
Well, I can't sit here and tell you for sure no. All I can tell you is that everything I know about my business says no way. But stranger things have happened, haven't they?
And then again, another thing also, he's one of the last three contenders for the job. Look what kind of free advertisement he'll get if he gets the job at South Florida as head coach. Free advertisement.
Yes, it would be free advertising, but there's lots of free advertising that a lot of establishments do not want.
But they don't have the assessor there. That's the athletic director, Leroy Feldman. I'm just using for example, But I'm just saying, if he come in this area, could this area put up with that, with O.J.?
Well, again, stranger things have happened. I'm no longer, if there's anything involved in this case, even remotely, I am just not about to say, no, it can't happen. So you may be right, dude.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Bye.
576 WSUN in Pinellas and Hillsborough, too. I'm serious. I wanted to hear the polling of the jury before I let out a breath. I'm just hearing the clerk say, not guilty. I was not until they went through the jury twice, just on that bizarre chance that one of them said, well, I don't know.
You were really surprised at the verdict? Were you
Oh,
really?
yeah, I was stunned. Yeah, I didn't expect it. No, I thought they're coming back guilty.
Huh.
You know, after the testimony that they asked to be read yesterday, I heard both sides, give their excuses for why the jury had requested it, but I didn't think up until yesterday that a guilty verdict was possible. Nor did I really think an acquittal was likely. I thought, you got 12 people, and I'm listening to everybody else out there. I know how my mind works. I also have a pretty fair idea how the average guy's mind works, and I would not have been at all surprised if 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 of those 12 said, no way, no, we're not voting not guilty. We don't care about the problems with the evidence. We don't care. Who was I walking across the driveway? Tell me that. No. So I expected, at best, really, a hung jury. I thought up until yesterday, if there was a verdict, it would be an acquittal, but I never thought until yesterday, when I got out in that car and I heard what those people asked for, and then they came right back with, okay, we got a verdict. I'd bet my paycheck on it. Thank God there was nobody else in the car. I'd be out of paycheck.
Darn. So I would have bet against you on it. I didn't think they would be able to reach a verdict that quickly if they were going to send someone to prison for the rest of his life.
No, I did something
take longer than that.
I did something today. I'm hard-pressed to think when I've ever done anything like this. I didn't leave the house until about 35 minutes before showtime.
Oh, yeah?
Because I wanted to see it.
You watched it at home?
Oh, yeah. Yes, and I wanted to see it without any commotion, or without any interruption or anything like that. And I wanted to hear everything, and I didn't. So I stayed home and gambled that I'd get here on time. And for me, arriving, late for a radio show is an unforgivable sin. Unforgivable. It's something that only once in 25 years
Jeffy and I would have thought
has happened, and on top of that, nobody ever knew because I got there literally just in the nick of time, and it was back in music days. But for this stuff, I'm here always at least an hour ahead of time.
Yeah.
And sometimes more than that. And I just sit there. It's not like I'm doing something. I just sit there trying to get my head into the right frame of mind to go in and make an ass of myself for 4 hours. Let's go to his cell phone. Hi, Cell. You're on the air at WSUN.
How you doing, Bobby?
Doing great.
Hey, Sharon.
Hey.
Bobby, it's a stupid question, but it's really bothering me, Let's say down the line they find the knife that's got OJ's fingerprints all over it, and they find, and they find the suit full of the blood and all that. They can't retry that man, can they?
Nope. No, he could take them tonight and show them where it is, and there's nothing they can do about it.
I'm glad he got off, but that just doesn't make sense to me. If he'd have been found guilty, they could have appealed it.
That's correct.
But if he's found innocent,
the state only gets one shot at you. You shall not, constitutional guarantee, you shall not be placed in jeopardy twice.
Is that the double jeopardy?
That's what it is.
I heard something about. Okay.
That's right.
So no matter what now, he's...
Well, the thinking behind it, the logic behind it is the state has such incredible resources, and you are at such an incredible disadvantage when the state decides to come against you, that if they can't prove, they only get one shot to prove it, and if they can't prove it in one shot, then it's just too damn bad. They shouldn't have come at you.
Right. That one puzzled me. All right, Bobby. Well, I want to thank you for keeping us informed because I worked during the day, so I haven't had a chance to watch it. You really made me think a lot.
Well, okay, that's what it's all about.
All right, so you guys have a good day.
Hey, you too.
All right, Bobby.
Be good.
Yeah.
It's one of the very few constitutional guarantees outside of what I just told him that I don't quite understand. If he should now jump up and down and say, yeah, I did do it. There's nothing they can do against him. I do understand not reopening the investigation and going after him again. That I understand. But he could literally go to the courthouse steps tonight and say,
"Gotcha."
And there's nothing anybody can do.
Could be thinking that.
Oh, Sharon.
Could be.
God almighty. It's 4:43.
Now, an AM 620 WSUN traffic patrol update. Here's Chris Walker.
Latest accident in Hillsborough County is Hines and Martin Luther King. Still going to find a lot of heavy volume northbound 275 approaching Sly because of an earlier accident that's been removed from the roadway. And if you're traveling in Pinellas County, St. Pete Beach Causeway, you have an injury accident, and westbound Howard Franklin still slow into the 4th Street construction zone. This report is a service of Cortisone 10. Itch, rash, get fast relief with Cortisone 10. Cortisone 10 has the medicine doctors recommend most to relieve the itch and help heal the rash. Cortisone 10 uses directed. Chris Walker, AM 620, WSUN Traffic Patrol.
And now, coming to you live, it's another Ron and Ron replay.
You're in London right now?
Yes, I am in London.
All right, well, welcome to the show, and we need to do a worldwide poll today. You know, at 1 o'clock this afternoon, American time, Eastern time, the O.J. Simpson verdict comes down. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay, do you in London feel that O.J. is guilty or not guilty?
Well, there isn't enough evidence against him, is there? He's not guilty.
Not
guilty. Okay.
Not guilty.
Now, do the people in Great Britain, are they paying close attention to this?
Yeah, most of them are.
They love it, huh?
Well, they think it's crazy, but, well, everything America does is crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, we love guns.
Be sure to listen to Ron Diaz and Ron Bennington each weekday morning only on the Ron and Ron Show.
Don't miss Ron and Ron, weekday morning, 6 till 10 a.m. on AM 620 WSUN, entertaining talk radio.
Welcome to the Professional Contractor Stock Report, brought to you by the Home Depot. Every stock expert will tell you, buy low. Well, Home Depot's got over 50,000 items in stock, and every one of them's at a guaranteed low price day in, day out. In fact, even if you get a so-called contractor's discount at other places, you still pay less at Home Depot. And that's on professional quality stock, like custom building products. You know, Custom Building Products is the recognized leader in contractor quality tile installation products, interior and exterior patching products, and wall covering adhesive products. Plus, they're 100% made in America. Every Home Depot here in Tampa has the kind of services a pro like you can appreciate, like fax ordering, job site delivery. And since trading starts at 6 a.m. every weekday, your money can go to work as early as you do. Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
Just the
Electrifying. It's Tampa Bay Lightning hockey action all season long on AM 620 WSUN, entertaining talk radio.
You're so damn obstinate, you bastard.
If you're over the age of 65, listen up. There's a new medical coverage that can save you up to $200 a month. It's called Senior Secure Plus.
I had a Senior Secure Plus plan, and all I pay is a fee of $5 for the month, and it doesn't do the emergency room visits I don't pay, and I don't pay the co-pays at the doctor's office, and it's a good plan. I had a gallbladder surgery, and my son and his wife, they took me to the hospital, and they said, "Hey, you want us to get you anything?" And I said, "Yeah, I want to go home." And then they laughed at me in my face, and the doctor, he come in and he started grabbing and poking me, and he said, "Cut it out, you bastard." He said, "Now, old man, you go put it on him."
Call Senior Secure today for your free brochure and membership information. Remember, only $5 a month to feel secure.
Sharon, was that a subtle way of telling me that you think I play that too much? Sharon was sitting over here mouthing the words.
I love it. It just went perfectly with that little, just a damn obstinate bastard.
Let's go to Brandon. Hi, Brandon. You're on the air at WSUN.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Sharon.
Hi.
I'm kind of looking for a 20-step program to go through now that there's no OJ trial for me to watch when I get home.
You're Bob.
I know.
Given the fact that now he's not guilty, everything's said and done. going back to the original issue that the prosecution wanted to bring out in the trial, the domestic violence issue, him being, as they called it, quote-unquote, wife beater in the past, and he admitted to doing it, does not make him a murderer, and I agree with that. It doesn't make him a murderer. It is unfortunate, though, at 30 years old, she had to get a safety deposit box and put pictures of her beaten face in there and tell her sister or whoever it was she told, one day he's going to kill me. It's unfortunate
Yes,
that
it
happened.
It's a tragedy, and it's so goddamn common in this country.
Right. Another thing is, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. I'm not sure. I just heard one of the armchair lawyer quarterbacks there on the radio after the verdict on the way home say something to the effect that if there was a wrongful death suit pursued, O.J. would be required to take the stand, and that if he would take the Fifth Amendment once he got up there, it can be used to consider the credibility of his testimony.
No, my understanding is he cannot be required to take the stand, but he can be compelled to give a deposition.
Okay.
But during the actual trial itself, nobody can be compelled to give testimony against themselves in a court of law, but you can apparently, at least in California anyway, be compelled to give a deposition, which I find bizarre.
Right. Well, again, that was about it. Just it's a shame that she had to live her. Granted, even if O.J. didn't kill her, it's a shame she lived her life the way she did. And poor Ron, wrong place, wrong time. But anyway, great show, Frost.
Thank you, dude. It's a tragedy that the lifestyle that they led is not an uncommon one. It's a tragedy that there are an awful lot of couples in this country that apparently don't quite understand what being married and being together is really all about, and just on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Things that trouble me very, very much with my fellow man and male-female relationships in this country, and as well as something again I had mentioned earlier today that. I don't care what kind of lip service we pay it, that by and large in this country, we just don't find it that wrong that, you hit somebody when you disagree with them. That bothers me. Let's do Valrico. Hi, Valrico. You're on the air at WSUN.
Good afternoon, Your Majesty.
Good afternoon, Val.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm just fine.
Are you sure? You sound a little distraught.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, okay.
I'm all right.
Well, Bob?
Yes,
I just wanted to call and let you know that, I wasn't completely glued to you today during your show because I knew pretty much what you were going to have to say. But I wasn't shocked by the guilty verdict, or the not guilty verdict. When they came back that quickly, I just said, oh, boy, it's over. And I was at Edwards Pipe and Tobacco when the verdict came down.
Yeah.
There was an angry room full of white men when that verdict came down. And I got the hell out of there before I made the big mistake of opening my mouth.
Good, smart thing to do, dude.
Because they were all one hell of a lot bigger than me.
Yeah, it's one thing to sit safely in your studio and say these things. It's quite another to hang around with the boys and say it.
Oh, yeah, man. But I think that the only reason, it could be Karabauer's right. Maybe they just wanted to screw with him. But I think that the only reason they needed to look at the tape was because the answer was the same to the prosecution as it was to the defense on what time and what he said about the Bronco not being there.
Right.
And that's all they really needed to see, because they remembered, what he said, but I think they wanted to find out the context in which he said it.
Could well be. Again, one more time, I'm mildly miffed that I'm going to have to wait months to find out why the jury did what they did. Unless one of them decides to, talk for free, which is, I don't think, very likely. I'm sure that all of them have been contacted by at least 27 literary agents and 400 lawyers each by now. Hell, it's been, 6 hours?
And if each and every one of them doesn't receive a basket of oranges and a dozen roses from Mr. Simpson, then he's a cad for sure.
At least an autographed O.J. Simpson card.
I better have an NFL football.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. An official NFL football, right, with and dated to make it really valuable.
Oh, yeah, that would be something, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
But, I know we're close to the end of your show, and I don't want to hog up a bunch of time, but I would like to make a donation to the the queen of culinary ineptitude next to you, if I could.
Oh, sure.
Okay, Sharon, you ready?
Yep, I got my pen.
You got your pen? Okay. 2 cans of Wolf brand chili without beans.
Wolf brand chili, gotcha.
Okay. You need 3 bags of the little Fritos, the little ones.
Okay.
You know, not the great big dip chip kinds, the little ones. You take the 2 cans of chili and 2 of those bags of Fritos. You mix them together with a half a cup of grated cheddar cheese. And then you top the rest of it with the other little bag of Fritos and another half a cup of grated cheddar cheese. Pop that puppy in the oven for 30 minutes at 300 degrees and enjoy.
Yeah, now tell her where she's got to get that Wolf brand chili.
Huh?
West Texas.
No, you can get Wolf brand chili. Certain grocery stores still carry it around here.
I've heard enough Wolf brand chili talk. Good day, sir.
I'll talk to you. Hey, by the way, Bob.
Yeah?
I have another theory about the crime, but I'll share it with you at a later date.
Please.
Frog.
Bye.
Ooh.
What? I don't take calls off the air. You know that. Okay. Hello? What do you want? Oh, it's you. You got a lot of nerve. Oh, and you want me to play a song for you?
Who's that?
Okay, Marcia.
And now, the prosecution chorus.
O.J. That's what Marcia Clark will say. Crime don't pay. DNA matches O.J. DNA is gonna convict O.J. That's what Marcia Clark will say. Crime don't pay. DNA matches O.J.
On court TV they're gonna show you.
Show you.
Lots of DNA.
Lots of DNA.
X and Y proves who told a lie. Gonna tell you whether O.J.'s the guy.
DNA is gonna convict O.J. That's what Marcia Clark will say. Crime don't pay. DNA matches O.J. DNA is gonna convict O.J. That's what Marcia Clark will say. Crime don't pay. DNA matches O.J. DNA is gonna convict O.J. That's what Marcia Clark will say. Crime don't pay. DNA matches O.J. DNA matches O.J. DNA matches O.J.
Now, an AM 620 WSUN traffic patrol update. Here's Chris Walker.
We have an accident eastbound I-4 west of I-75. It's just coming in, still wrapping up Hines and Martin Luther King. Still going to see some heavy volume through the interchange system northbound 275. And still a little heavy northbound 275 around Hines because of an earlier wreck that's been cleared. Accidents just in on the Pinellas side, Tampa Road and Curlew up in Palm Harbor, and one in St. Pete on 38th Avenue North and 28th Street, and still trying to wrap up southbound US 19 north of 49th Street. This report is service of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida. Today, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida and Health Options have the plan you really want. State employees call about health options today at 1-800-830-8668. That's 1-800-830-8668. Chris Walker, AM 620 WSUN Traffic Patrol.
Hello, Psychic Gary Spivey here. You've all heard of these miracle workers, psychic healers, spiritual healers. Are they for real? You'll find out. You gotta listen to my show tonight on AM 620 WSUN between 6 and 8. You gotta listen.
More choices, less money. Paragon Cable is here for you.
More choice, less money means free installation and a specially priced value package from Paragon Cable. When you order standard cable, you can add a preferred discount value package for only $19.95 per month. The preferred discount value package includes HBO and Showtime, a universal remote control, a smart box, several pay-per-view channels, and Paraguard service call protection, all for just $19.95 a month. Just order standard cable and you get the HBO Showtime discount value package for $19.95 a month. To order, call 1-800-800-CABLE. That's 1-800-800-CABLE. Order now and installation is free. Some restrictions apply. Call Paragon for details.
More choices, less money. Paragon Cable is here for you. More choices, less money. All the best comes shining through. Paragon Cable.
We're in the studio with the world's only talking frog.
Frog, what should you do when you see another tire ad?
Rip it.
That's right. Rip it out and bring it to Allied Tires and Service. We'll beat any total advertised price or give you that tire free. All the details are at the counter, no matter what ad. Firestone,
Rip it.
Pet Boys,
Rip it.
Tire Kingdom,
Rip it.
Don Olson,
Rip it.
or anyone else.
Rip it.
Nobody beats Allied's on the rim and out the door price, or it's free. Not some tires, every tire. Michelin, Dunlop, Goodyear, even economy radials, and only Allied gives you on the rim and out the door prices. Valve stems included, mounting included, lifetime balancing included, lifetime rotation included, a factory warranty included, even roadside assistance included. Nobody beats our total price. Nobody beats Allied, or it's free. So, Frog, what'll happen to those other tire dealers?
Croak.
Allied Tires and Service. Why would you buy your tires anywhere else?
Give it up for the hardest working team in the NHL. Ciccone bangs him into the board. What a hit! Working! Hannelich fires that puck home. It's hammer time. Working! Till you're black and blue. Yeah, working. Till you're black and blue now. I'm working hard. It's what I got to do. They're the hardest working team playing the coolest game on earth. And this Saturday, October 7th, the Tampa Bay Lightning take on the Calgary Flames in their home opener at the Thunderdome. Game time starts at 7:35. For tickets, call Ticketmaster now at 813-287-8844. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the hardest working team in the NHL. Working till you're black and blue. Here's Brighton with the breakaway. He shoots. He scores. Yeah, working till you're black and blue. Check it, baby. All work every play.
AM 620 WSUN, St. Petersburg, Tampa, Clearwater. We're like a free 900 number.
And was on the jury is beyond me.
Oh, man, that was incredible, and I started to wonder, if that was an example of the rest of the jurors. I'm not sure how good a decision they made, but
well,
anyway.
Just keep in mind that the average age of the jury was 43, and he was included in the average age, so the rest of them must have been pretty young.
Pretty young, okay. Well, that's probably all right then. The other gentleman that just called about the jurors, saying, or the people saying that they thought he was guilty, but they still thought they made the right decision. I can come to terms easily with the fact that they found him not guilty. I mean, I'm one of those that thought he was guilty from the very start, and still do. I still think he did it, but unfortunately, the prosecution did such a lousy job and of proving it that he got off, and that's the American system. That's the way it goes. They should have done a better job. Like you said a while back, from the very beginning, when they figured out that they had to have a speedy trial and had to have this thing all wrapped up in 60 days to get started on it, that they should have dropped the charges for a while and gotten everything organized and gotten all their top people on it.
Well, there's also a certain arrogance. I don't have the entire thing in front of me, so I have to paraphrase here. And again, there's a risk that I'm going to get something asked backwards. But in Marsh's statement yesterday, the one that contains the, this is something liberals will just never get through their heads, ta-da. Yeah. She also went on to say something to the effect of, when she was talking about Mark Furman, and she said something about, we knew about Mark Furman, but we had to put him on.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not sure they had to.
Exactly. No, they didn't have to. That's the whole damn point. It is the arrogance of the system. We'll do whatever the hell we want to do. We are right, and you just keep your damn mouth shut about it. And that is one of the things that bothers a large segment of the population in this country.
Yeah.
And ought to bother them. It is not right.
That's right. And I don't have a problem with the fact that they found him not guilty. I was disappointed, but mainly from the standpoint, and probably a lot of people felt this way, even though the prosecution messed up, and even though they did such a lousy job, those people that really felt like he was really truly guilty were maybe hoping that the jury would be able to ignore all of those screw-ups and still go ahead and convict him. But we have that luxury sitting out here in America and looking in on the trial,
and saying, oh, I still know he's guilty. You know, sure, the defense can bring up all these great points, but I still know he's guilty. The jury doesn't have that luxury.
No, they do not.
They can't do it that way.
And nor do you want them to have that luxury if your ass is ever sitting at that table.
I don't want them to have that luxury, so... You know, I don't have a problem. The only problem I have is with the families of the victims. I feel for them greatly, and I'll tell you, I wish that they could, instead of filing a civil lawsuit against O.J. Simpson, they ought to be able to file a lawsuit against the DA's office for doing such a crappy job.
Yes.
You know, that'd be the best way to go, and it upsets me when I hear people talking about the jury and you know, the fact that we're blinded by racism or whatever their arguments are. Hey, we weren't in that jury. We didn't see the whole thing for the whole 9 months, and I wouldn't have wanted to be there. But if I was there,
all I can say is if you have to be black to be able to look at compromised evidence and compromised witnesses, may we all turn black overnight.
Really, I agree with that, but. It just upsets me that people have this attitude that they know better than what the jury did when we weren't there. So.
Nor were we charged with the responsibility that they were charged with.
Right.
This has always been nothing but a game to you and I.
That's right. There's been a lot of comments too about the fact that they came up with such a quick decision, and they're like, well, they didn't even consider anything. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Okay. When it comes down to it, for a not guilty verdict, all you need is one piece of reasonable doubt. And from that, I mean, if you've got one piece of reasonable doubt, then that's the end of it. And apparently each one of them, or at least 10 of the 12, right off the bat, had at least one piece of reasonable doubt, and it wouldn't have been that difficult based on the prosecution's evidence. It wouldn't have been that difficult to find one piece of reasonable doubt. So it wouldn't take that long to come to a decision. If it went the other way, then yeah, it would be obvious it would have to take a lot longer.
I hear you, Doc.
All right.
I hear you, dude.
Well, let's hope for clear skies.
Yeah, right, sure.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah, I'm just going to put the cloud catcher back in the closet so it'll clear up.
There you go. All righty, we'll talk to you later, Bob.
Be good.
Bye, Doc.
Bye.
See, the whole damn problem, the reason we had this hurricane and everything this week is, we left the telescope out of the closet all week. And it's just been sucking clouds in and sucking clouds in.
Well, then put it away.
Yeah, it's all my fault. Let's go to Clearwater. Hi, Clear. You're on the air at WSUN.
Hello, Bob.
Hi, Clearwater.
This is Tyrone.
Oh, Tyrone, how you doing?
Oh, I'm just calling. Hey, what was Bubba trying to do earlier? What a weak imitation of me.
Oh, it was. Disgusting.
Yeah, he fell short of being human.
Did your mom hear the song I played for her?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen Mom yet. So I don't know. He'll probably have a lot to teach me, though. Like old Bubba. And I'm calling it, he's bad Bubba. He's not even good Bubba.
Nah.
I'd like to teach him a little bit about Jeet Kune Do, but then that wouldn't work, because he'd probably try to teach me something about inbreeding. And that would be stereotypical of me to say something like that, wouldn't it, Bob? I wouldn't want to get into
Don't fall into their trap, Tyrone.
I wouldn't want to fall into that trap. But then Bob's probably a member of...
Just see, Tyrone's funny. That's the problem.
That's true, yeah.
You know Bubba's a member of the NRA, so he probably thinks he's pretty good with a gun. So then I take him out on the range and show him he can shoot very well. Of course, then he'd show me why dating my sister is probably a good thing to do on a prom night. But I don't know.
Come on.
Anyway, to be more serious.
Yeah.
I was in your building today.
No.
Yes. Did you know there was a Ryder truck?
Wait a second.
20 foot long.
Jeffrey, does anyone know that there was a Negro in this building today?
Oh.
I didn't see any reports or alarms set off. It was the other building. Oh, the other building. Yes. Well, they frequently have Negroes over there.
Oh, I went in both buildings, so.
Oh, no.
But the Ryder truck was parked in front of your building. 20 foot long Ryder truck with the door open.
Yeah.
So, being nosy, I go trucking on over there. Bob, guess what was in the back of that truck?
Can't be game.
Fertilizer.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Oh, fertilizer, but there was also a lot of lawn and garden.
What were they, cleaning out Reback's office again?
I have no idea, but it was... I looked and I did a double take, and there was this old lady. She walked by and she looked at the truck, and she looked in the back, and she saw 666 nitrogen fertilizer, and she looked and she turned again, and she goes, "Oh, Lord," and she started trying to go as fast as she
started running, yeah.
half a mile an hour.
Feet don't fail me now.
Yeah, she makes it to the parking lot. No, I was in your building because I went to the wrong building. Then I found the right building. Boy, I walked in there, Bob. It's like I own the place. Everybody just wanted to help me so much. But I wonder if that's because they were trying to get rid of me.
Well, you're welcome.
I go in there and I'm looking around. First I go the wrong direction. This one lady goes, "Can I help you, sir?" And I tell you what I'm trying to find. "Oh, let me show you. It's down that way." I said, "Thank you, ma'am." I go walking the other way. Don't mold me out. I'm in a corner. I'm like, "What the heck am I doing back here in this corner?" Here comes another lady. "Sir, are you lost?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to find." "Oh, I'll take you right." She took me right to the door.
Wow.
And then Bob, after I'd done my business, guess what? He escorted me out of the building.
See, you see, I don't understand what's the matter with you people. We're very, very nice to blacks in this country. We always help you out.
Bob, both of the women who helped me were Latinos. So don't take any credit for something you didn't do.
Oh, okay.
He did play a nice song for your mom, though, today.
You know, I didn't hear it because I was...
Be good to your mom.
Yeah.
That's what it was? Be good to you?
Good
Yeah.
to your mom.
I asked her to listen to the show yesterday. She said yes. And then she hit me upside the head for telling everybody that my girlfriend goes to Target and buys cheap makeup.
Yeah.
I said, "But Mom, it's true." She said, "You don't have to tell it. That sounded so awful. The poor girl." So guess what they did, Bob?
What?
The Walmart?
They lifted one of my credit cards and they went on a shopping spree.
There you go.
Can you say Gayford? Can you say Birdine? Can you say Neiman Marcus? Steinbeck, that's the other place they went. Bob, guess how much money I spent last night?
Oh, God, I can't begin to imagine, dude.
$742. Yes, I did. But, you know, I took
Cheryl looked pretty beautiful today.
Hey, but I took it in stride, Bob, because you know what? I said, that's Christmas for the family.
That's reasonable. That's reasonable. That's what I'd do.
Hey, that's old, right?
Yeah.
That's Christmas for the family.
Hey, look, I had to trade birthday and Christmas for that telescope, so, you know.
Hey, see what you got to do?
That's right.
I went car shopping today. I went to 2 Chevy dealerships. First Chevy dealership I went to is where I bought my Camaro I presently drive. I went to Jim Quinlan. I want to buy me a nice little truck. I go strutting over there, black jeans, Florida Gator shirt on, Florida hat, walking around the parking lot. 40 minutes. No salesman shows up. I said, I go to Sunshine. Same thing. Come home. Told my dad I'd looked around and everything. He starts laughing. He says, "Son, every time I go looking for a car," he says, "I put on a suit." I said, "Well, I don't wear a suit." He says, "Well, just go ahead and put on some nice slacks and a shirt and a tie and go back to those same 2 dealerships." Well, I went and did it. Bob, before I could get 2 legs out of the car, here comes some salesmen. Same salesman I've seen pass me before on a golf cart. Somebody says to me, "Yes, sir. What are you looking for? Can I help you?" I looked at the guy and said, "You know what I'm looking for. You're that guy that was looking at those trucks, weren't you?" I said, "Yeah," and I decided to go with Ford. That's what I told him.
Oh, Tyrone.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do, Bob.
You got to do what you got to do.
But I tell you, I don't know. Across the street over here, I'm over at the Kmart building. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
There's 5 police officers, and they're tackling this one teenage girl. Apparently, she went in this Kmart here, and she walked out with a pack of Wrigley Spearmint shoes without paying for it. Normally, you know, you just pay the 45 cents and nothing be said of it. But apparently, this girl in her teenage life has a prior history of shoplifting. So she's out here right now getting a 3rd degree from 5 officers for stealing a pack of chewing gum. And while I was watching that, I was standing here, Bob, and I saw this girl go in and out of this Kmart 5 times. 5 times. And every time she came out with merchandise and no bag. While these police officers were hassling somebody over a stick of chewing gum. What's going on in the world today?
Don't know, Tyrone.
But I will.
I don't know. I don't have the answers, dude.
Bob.
Yeah?
You always have the answers.
Sometimes. Hey, you be good. You have yourself a good weekend, Tyrone.
Oh, I plan to.
Okay.
Tell Mom hi.
Didn't have the heart to tell him that the last 3 car dealerships I've gone to, nobody came near me.
Oh.
Stressed like I am now.
So why?
Yeah, I can't imagine that.
Fools.
Not. You gotta be sitting in the same room.
I could have paid for anything on their lots with credit cards.
Well, wear your nighty hat and they'll help.
I had enough plastic in my pocket to buy anything they were selling. None of them came near me. It's 5:32.
And now, an AM 620 WSUN Traffic Patrol update. Here's Chris Walker.
Latest injury accident on the Pinellas side coming in Tarpon Springs on Tarpon Woods Boulevard and East Lake. Gotta find a big backup out there on the Howard Franklin Bridge on the Pinellas side. An accident there with injuries. Got you backed up to the hump of the bridge. It is off to the side, most of it off to the side at this point. EMS has left the scene, but of course the damage already done. If you're traveling in Hillsborough County, gonna find a couple of accidents over there, and police rolling out to an accident on northbound Nebraska north of Fowler. Left lane taken up with that accident. It's blocking that lane. And westbound Bush at 40th, all lanes reopened at that location. Ruskin accident, College Avenue and 21st Street. A disabled vehicle southbound I-75 north of Gibsonton Drive. Official report of service of GTE MobileNet. Sign up with GTE MobileNet now and we'll give you 60 minutes of long-distance calling. Call 1-800-733-GTE1 by December 2nd for a free hour of long distance. Chris Walker, AM 620 WSUN Traffic Patrol.
And to the 28 Tampa Bay newsroom we go for my bestest buddies, Marty and Bob.
Good afternoon, I'm Bob Finter.
And I'm Marty Tucker. Here are just some of the stories we're working on for 28 Tampa Bay News, starting at 6.
First, police say he posed as a cop in order to gain a woman's trust. Then the phony cop raped her. And now police are wondering if the suspected rapist could also be a killer. Hear the whole story tonight on 28 Tampa Bay News at 6.
And since Tampa Bay did not bear the full force of Hurricane Opal, should we be expected to pay for over $1 billion worth of damage done mostly to luxurious beachfront homes? Some people say it's just not right. Get the story at 6.
Then police couldn't capture the person who killed her husband, but she thinks she can. And now a local woman is waging a one-person war to catch a killer. Hear her courageous story tonight.
For all the day's news, plus meteorologist Paul Conrad's weekend forecast and Drew Sorsher on sports. Turn to 28 Tampa Bay News at 6. Working hard to be your favorite.
It's the Columbus Day all-on sale this weekend at Montgomery Ward. In Electric Avenue, all appliances, TVs, camcorders, and VCRs are on sale. Get free delivery on all appliances, $3.99 and up with mail-in rebate. Wow, and Rooms and More, all furniture and mattresses are on sale. Plus, take an extra 10% off select furniture. That's even on sale prices. And in Auto Express, all tires, shocks, and batteries are on sale. All outerwear jeans, sweaters, and shoes are on sale, too. Plus, take an extra 10% off all fine jewelry. That's even on sale prices. So hurry into Montgomery Ward. Exclude special purchases, super buys, and low-price items. Delivery limited to normal delivery area. It's the Columbus Day all-on sale this weekend at Montgomery Ward. You'll find great savings throughout every department. Sure, like a 19 cubic foot Admiral refrigerator with factory-installed ice maker for just $5.29 in Electric Avenue. And since we're speaking of ice, get your choice of a variety of beautiful 1-carat total weight diamond rings for just $2.99 each in gold and gems. Wow, discover a whole new world of values at the Montgomery Ward Columbus Day all-on sale. So hurry into Montgomery Ward this weekend.
Dave, your cigar connoisseur, inviting you to join me Saturday at noon for Smoke This, when we'll kick back, light up, and enjoy a great cigar together. Now back to the only guy who fills this studio with more smoke than I do, Lassiter, on AM 620 WSUN, entertaining talk radio.
You gotta be kidding with that.
What?
That pencil should have been thrown away a long time ago, Mama.
I like this pencil. It's a hard color to find. I can't find it.
Yeah, but like you're down to about 1.25 inches of it.
Less than that.
You might want to think about why you can't find it anywhere.
Because I can't remember what color it was.
That's not the only reason.
Humor him.
Oh, yeah, Jeffy. Is that enough?
Hope so. Let's go to Seminole. Hi, Seminole. You're on the air. WSUN.
Yes, hello.
Yes, hello.
Yes. Is this Bob Lassiter?
Yes.
Yeah, Bob, this is Ben Carful. I'm a former policeman from Chicago.
Oh.
Living down in Seminole. I've got a couple of parallel circumstances revolving the Rodney King and the O.J. Simpson trial that maybe at the end I will ask you a question that you could possibly answer, or maybe some of your listeners can answer. Are you ready?
Let's do it quick.
Okay. The Rodney King, the policeman, we saw the tapes. It was evident what happened there. They battered him, assaulted him. They were arrested in L.A. And in L.A. they went to court and they were found innocent. O.J. Simpson allegedly killed Ron Goldman and Nicole Simpson in L.A. went to court. He was acquitted. But everything being equal, in the Rodney King case, the 7 policemen were re-indicted under violating someone's civil rights because of a battery. The ultimate in violating someone's civil rights would be murder.
Uh-huh.
You know the next question.
No, what's that, sir?
Are they going to bring O.J. Simpson into federal court for violating Ronald Gold?
What was your badge number?
My badge number?
Yeah.
I'm retired.
Yeah, well, I said,
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, what was your badge number?
9665.
Okay.
What's your home phone number?
Well, I think there's a real big difference between my home phone number and your former badge number,
I'm
isn't
a
there?
retired policeman.
Well, that's good for all of us because apparently you don't understand the Civil Rights Act, do you?
Yes, I do.
No, obviously you don't. They beat Rodney King because he was black. There's no suggestion that, there's no suggestion, there is no suggestion that either Nicole Brown nor Ronald Goldman were murdered because they were white, is there?
Wait a minute now. Hold it 1 second.
There is no suggestion that there was a racial motivation to the murder, is there?
No. Excuse me 1 second.
I'll excuse you after you answer my question. There is no suggestion that there was any racial motivation in the murder, is there?
Wait a minute. Yes. One
No,
is black
sir.
and one is white.
No, sir.
If you want to go to that extent,
No, they were both white. Excuse me, sir. They were both white for openers.
The evidence doesn't have to show that it's racial. I said violating someone's civil rights.
Yes, sir.
Violate a white civil rights. It isn't a black and white issue.
No, sir. You can only violate civil rights on an issue that would involve what? Race, color, creed, national origin.
Well, why can't
there is no suggestion that either individual was murdered for their race, their color, their creed, or their national origin, is there? Where there was a great suggestion that Rodney King was battered because of his race.
Put it over the air and let's see what the people say.
No, sir, we're not going to see what the people say. I mean, if you want to have your own show, send a tape and resume to the program director, but unfortunately, he rarely hires morons.
You're an unreasonable person.
Oh, I'm an unreasonable person. No, sir, you just don't understand the Civil Rights Act.
Yes, I do.
No, obviously you don't.
Yes, I do. And I feel that Ron...
Nah, you're just a racist pig from Chicago who, thank God's off the force now.
Ron Goldman, civil rights...
Men ran away from the city. Stuck in the state of Illinois, spending their money down here when they desperately need it up there.
Much as Rodney King violated, so was Ron Goldman.
Yeah, right, sir.
Now, let's be reasonable.
Why should we start now? Let's go to Temple Terrace. Hi, Temple. You're on the air at WSUN.
Hey.
Hi.
This is going to be an official OJ free call, I'll have you know.
Thank you.
I mean, as tired as I am of it.
You know, I'm really surprised. I have been waiting for 3 weeks for that call. For 3 weeks I've been waiting for that call.
And there it was.
Yeah, I knew sooner or later I'd get it.
There it was. I just wanted to let you know real quick, you were talking about that lady earlier that called about illustrating.
Yeah.
There's a book. I've got a degree in commercial art, and it's anybody can learn to draw. There's a book.
No, they can't. I've taken courses.
No, I'm telling you, this one book for $17, whatever, is all that you need. You can write it down. It's called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. And it's by Betty Edwards.
I don't remember what the course was called, but it would be. It was back in my days at wasn't it at school, Virginia Commonwealth, VCU. I was taking photography, but I also had. I wanted to take the most basic commercial art course, whatever the hell it would be called.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's just commercial art. You know?
And I remember my first homework assignment, and the teacher went around from person to person, and when she got to me, she looked at it and kind of grimaced. She picked it up, and I'm not kidding, she literally ripped it into quarters in trying to tell me, well, I think that, if you had done this up there and that over there, and I had struggled and struggled and struggled and struggled with that piece, and she literally ripped it up.
Yeah, well, you should let that. I had that happen to me in grade school. I had a teacher in biology class. We had to draw the stupid amoebas and crap, and he used to come up and hand it back to me and say, you need to go back and draw it again. I mean, you get that stuff.
But I got really bad, eye-hand coordination.
This book will teach you. It can teach anybody how to draw. It just teaches you how to unlearn what you're used to seeing and teaches you how to look in a new way.
But you see, what you don't understand, I wear a beard, okay?
He ain't got no talent, sir.
The reason I wear a beard is because
he doesn't have good taste, because I was one that called about the October project the other day when I told him it was like Joni Mitchell. He went running to the side of the room.
See, well, there you go.
The reason I wear a beard is because my cheeks are full of puncture marks from a fork. I miss my mouth most of the time trying to get food in there. And if I can't, if I can't shove food in my mouth, how am I ever going to be coordinated enough?
You can do it, I'm telling you. If you give yourself a chance, you would have a lot of fun while the clouds are in the sky and you can't look at the stars. Buy this book and you'll have fun.
What's the name of the book again?
It's called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain.
I have heard of it.
Yeah, it's a real famous book. It's the most famous book because it's real simple. It gives you easy exercises and it's a lot of fun. It's by Betty Edwards. You can get it at any Walden's books.
I'd love to be able to draw. I really would.
Do it, I'm telling you, because me of all people, I've done cartooning and stuff for some.
Well, yeah, after that last call of yours, I would say you of all people. Yeah, God, if you could do it, I could probably.
You can do it.
I'll give it a try. Next time I'm in the bookstore, I'll look for it.
Next time it's cloudy out there, get the book out.
Okay.
Okay?
Hey, thanks, man.
Bye.
Appreciate. Let's go to.
Please remain seated and stay in your life raft. Remain in the life raft.
Well, isn't this? I said, isn't this? Isn't this? Oh, God, there they go. Isn't this a coincidence? Because just earlier today you were saying something about, you'd like to see some sharks, and you might tonight.
I've just gotten a fax of a shark. Let's go surfing. Oh, and a sailboat, a beautiful Empress Cruise Line sailboat, it looks like to me.
An Empress Cruise? They don't have sailboats.
No, they have parasailing, though. What, Jeffy?
I'm just writing down here.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank the guy that dropped off that T-shirt to me today, too.
Oh, I know.
Have a good time on your cruise, and good luck, and I hope you don't have to swim in. Thanks for the T-shirt.
Jeffy loves his Grateful Dead Buccaneer shirt. Anyway.
Boy, am I green with envy. Going out on that cruise tonight.
It's going to be,
Speaking of green.
It'll be nice. It'll be just nice.
Yeah. Are you holding the book again tonight on the fight?
Stop it.
Anybody wants to place bets on the fight?
You will get under the bridge.
Stop it. Stop it. We'll meet at 7 o'clock from John's Pass. The south side of the bridge, by the way, is where you'll find us. The Majestic Empress, docked right next to Gators, there on Gulf Boulevard and 127th Avenue. So.
Oh, we didn't make it that time. One more time.
Stop it.
Oh, all passengers remain on the starboard side.
Well, mercy me, Sherry. I wish I could join you tonight, honey.
So
but
do I. Not as much as I wish.
Well,
I'd pay money if you were there tonight, Bobby.
I'd pay money not to. Well, bon voyage, Sherry.
Okay.
There she goes. 42-foot swells, and that's still in the intercoastal. It's 5:46.
Now, an AM 620 WSUN Traffic Patrol Update. Here's Chris Walker.
Couple of problems in St. Petersburg with the beaches taking you out to Tierra Verde. The Pinellas Bayway shut down now for mechanical problems. Also, the Madeira Beach Bridge, the Tom Stewart Causeway, closed as well, and it's having some mechanical problems. Authorities saying those bridges probably going to be closed for at least an hour or two. We'll keep you abreast of that situation. Still going to find a very slow go on the westbound Howard Franklin Bridge from the hump into the Pinellas 4th Street construction zone, and that's because of an earlier injury accident. That accident has been cleared at this point. Injuries up in Tarpon Springs on Tarpon Woods Boulevard and East Lake. Got a wreck on East Lake and Tampa Road. And Park Boulevard and 66th Street, we had signal malfunctions. We still have authorities out there trying to get that all wrapped up. And Hillsborough County, still going to find some heavy volume through the interchange system this afternoon. Your typical heavy stuff. And northbound Nebraska, north of Fowler, still got that wreck out there blocking the left lane. This report is a service of Builder Square. Leaves aren't the only things falling. So are the prices at Builder Square. Through Saturday, pick up a 24-inch leaf rake for a hot $288. Limit 2. Builder Square, the hottest spot in town. Chris Walker, AM 620 WSUN Traffic Patrol.
The Bulls are back Saturday night at the Thunderdome. It's the first regular season game of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Klima looking inside. Klima right circle. Hold it there. Slapping in front. And a safe score on the
Tampa Bay plays host to the Calgary Flames. Pre-game at 7 p.m., face-off at 7:35. Live on Sports Radio 910 WFNS and AM 620 WSUN. Entertaining Talk Radio.
You might not realize it, but your car's value isn't the only thing that decreases over time. Because from the first moment you start your engine, its horsepower begins to decline as well. It starts with the motor oil breaking down and leaving behind carbon waste deposits. These deposits get behind piston rings and can cause them to stick and scrape away at cylinder walls, which results in a loss of compression and eventually a loss of horsepower. Which is precisely why you need Castrol GTX. Castrol is specially engineered to provide maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. And that's important. After all, how much horsepower can you afford to lose? Castrol GTX, engineered for greater protection against breakdown.
Castrol, on sale this week at One Stop Auto Parts. Welcome to the Professional Contractor Stock Report, brought to you by the Home Depot. Every stock expert will tell you, buy low. Well, Home Depot's got over 50,000 items in stock, and every one of them's at a guaranteed low price day in, day out. In fact, even if you get a so-called contractor's discount at other places, you still pay less at Home Depot. And that's on professional quality stock, like motion sensors from Heath Zenith. With a wider range, these pre-assembled, pre-wired motion sensors can detect movement significantly better than the other sensors. And the Heath Zenith weatherproof design makes them perfect for any garage or backyard. Every Home Depot here in Tampa has the kind of services a pro like you can appreciate, like fax ordering, job site delivery. And since trading starts at 6 a.m. every weekday, your money can go to work as early as you do. Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
AM 620 WSUN. Just add tequila.
I don't know, there are a lot of things in life I don't understand, but one of the things I do not understand is they've been showing pictures on the television of the aftermath up in the Panhandle, and it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible, with one minor exception. It's a beautiful day. We've got all this crap, and they tell me it's from the hurricane that's now up in Maryland. And you look out in the Atlantic, and they're piled up out there. Got to be crazy to live here. Let's go to Brendan. Hi there, Brendan. You're on the air at WSUN.
Hey, Bobby.
Hi.
How's it going, dude?
Not too bad.
Probably my last OJ call, I hope.
Okay.
You were talking the other day about the verdict, and I had the opportunity to watch it on TV, and I think that was what made it the most riveting, was to see the expressions and all. Mm-hmm. And I sat there because I was sure the night before that they'd found him guilty.
Me too.
That's why it's so quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there all by myself watching this TV, and as soon as it said not guilty, I clenched my fist, bent my elbow, and said, all right.
It's something we do every day.
I know it. And
white, black, green, old, young.
Because I think probably that's the only chance we'll ever have to find out who really did do it. I think if he been found guilty, would have dropped. That would have been the end of it. I hope O.J. was genuine when he says he wants to find out who it is, because perhaps he has the wherewithal and the money to see that it comes about. Because I'm not convinced either way, and I feel cheated because I still don't know. I still don't know whether O.J. did it or not.
I must admit, I did hear one really, really sick, absolutely disgusting, but very funny bit this morning on another station. Again, one of these grossly exaggerated O.J. voices, but was Judge Ito saying something about, okay, you've been found innocent, you're free to go. And he said, can I have my glove and hat back? Which sick humor, very, very sick, but what the hell, I still found it funny.
But what troubles me is why some people are so angered over the decision.
Very troubling.
I work with someone, and I never realized, and the only way I can justify is that he's racist. It absolutely drives him crazy. It possesses him that O.J. walked. And he's totally convinced that there was a mountain of evidence. There was this mountain of evidence, just as Marcia said. And he just can't accept it. And that concerns me.
The entire behavior of the nation, as I've said before, every day people are slaughtered in this country, and we just shrug our shoulders, step over the corpses, and go about our way. I don't even think, probably it's that O.J. got off. It's that basically 9 blacks had the power to decide, and he didn't, and his people didn't. Is probably closer to what's pissing him off. Again, playing amateur psychiatrist here and all that kind of good stuff, but that's my guess. Because nobody dislikes O.J. He's a likable guy. What the hell? He's a good Negro.
Well,
hardly anybody even noticed he was a Negro.
Exactly. Until this. But, I don't know. It just scares me.
Because, when you start to think about I don't know about the guy that you're talking about, but so frequently you hear wildly pejorative statements that we had no knowledge about. All those people on the jury were ignorant, or none of them had any school. We don't know. I mean, their backgrounds and identities have been kept from us, and people were immediately willing to. They just weren't capable of understanding that. They weren't smart enough. I think it was the jury itself, not the defendant. The jury itself, and the fact that they had the power is probably what pissed off most people.
Well, that could be. I don't know. I'm glad it's over.
Me too.
And
I'll watch Kardashian tonight, and that is officially the end of it for me. Somebody from the defense, they won't haven't said yet. It might be Marcia, is scheduled to be on Larry King tomorrow night. If it's Marcia, I'll watch that, and that's the end of it for me.
Oh, the prosecution, you mean, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, did I? Yeah, I did say defense, didn't I? Yeah, somebody from the prosecution tomorrow on Larry King, and that is the official end of it.
Well, good enough, Bobby. I'm sorry I missed Sharon, but I hope she's in her Jeep listening, because we were going to go on the cruise last Friday, but I was suffering from Lassiter voice. You gave me your cold.
Oh, boy. I told you guys, don't get too close to the speaker. But now you never listen to me.
I know it, but Sharon, we're going out this Friday on the day cruise, and we'll leave a report for her on the 3rd deck.
Okay.
Letting her know how it went.
Yeah, a lot of people leave reports on the 3rd deck.
Well, mostly down below.
2nd deck, and all the decks.
Okay. Take care, Bobby.
Hey, you too, man.
Frog.
You behave yourself. Oh, my. I'm serious. I will watch Kardashian tonight. If it's Marcia, I'll watch that tomorrow night, and that is officially the end of it for me. Absolutely. It's been a long, hard, grueling, miserable, but barring new developments, that's the end of it. Oh, God, look at that. It's 5:56.
And now, an AM 620 WSUN Traffic Patrol Update. Here's Chris Walker.
An accident's just coming in Hillsborough County northbound 275 at West Shore and one at I-75 and State Road 60. So that those bridges shut down in St. Petersburg, Pinellas Bayway out to Sierra Verde. That's shut down for mechanical problems. So is the Tom Stewart Causeway takes you out to Madeira Beach. Westbound on the Howard Franklin, still going to find a slow go into the 4th Street construction zone. It's not just your Friday night volume. It also had an earlier accident out there, and that backed everything up. Chris Walker, AM 620 WSUN Traffic Patrol.
And now, coming to you live, it's another Ron and Ron replay.
A great pervert story here about Marla Maples' publicist. Remember this guy who got busted for
shoe boy.
Yeah, he would run batches in her shoes. He stole 78 pairs of her shoes. Chuck Jones testified he had slashed many of the 78 pairs of Maples' leather boots and high-heeled shoes found in his apartment that he stole because, quote, I was really interested in seeing the imprint of the foot inside. And then he also answered yes when asked by the prosecutor if he had had physical sexual relationships with Marla Maples' shoes. He answered yes.
I wonder if this is slipping from tongue.
Be sure to listen to Ron Diaz and Ron Bennington each weekday morning only on the Ron and Ron Show.
6 to 10 weekday mornings on AM 620 WSUN.
The Dollhouse, the world leader in premium premium adult entertainment for over a decade. The Dollhouse. Stunning and sophisticated. We're more than showgirls. We're show business. The Dollhouse. The club that brings you post-Buccaneer parties, Monday Night Football, and the Tuesday night $500 amateur contest. Now presents Dream Dates Live. Yes, gentlemen, Ron and Ron star Fez Marie Watley will host live drawings for Dollhouse Dream Dates every Friday from 5 until 8 p.m. 2 lucky gentlemen will win a 3-hour chauffeur-driven dream date with the Dollhouse showgirl of his choice. The Dollhouse. Stop by today for great main stage excitement or a private table-side treat. Gourmet lunch served Monday through Friday from 11:30 to 2:30 with the world-famous Dollhouse happy hours running from 3 until 7 p.m. weekdays with 2-for-1 cocktails and $1.50 draft. The Dollhouse is conveniently located at 1010 Northwest Shore Boulevard. The Dollhouse. Dream Date Fridays, 5 till 8 p.m. and the Bucks post-game parties Sundays starting at 4 p.m. The Dollhouse. Come live the legend.
Give it up for the hardest working team in the NHL. Working. Ciccone bangs him into the board. What a hit. Working. Hanley fires that puck home. It's hammer time. Working. Till you're black and blue. Yeah, working. Till you're black and blue now. I'm working hard. It's what I got to do. They're the hardest working team playing the coolest game on earth. And this Saturday, October 7th, the Tampa Bay Lightning take on the Calgary Flames in their home opener at the Thunderdome. Game time starts at 7:35. For tickets, call Ticketmaster now at 813-287-8844. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the hardest working team in the NHL. Working till you're black and blue. Here's Button with the breakaway. He shoots. He scores. Yeah, working till you're black and blue. Check it, baby. All work, every play. More choice, less money. Paragon Cable is here for you.
More choice, less money means free installation and a specially priced value package from Paragon Cable. When you order standard cable, you can add a preferred discount value package for only $19.95 per month. The preferred discount value package includes HBO and Showtime, a universal remote control, a smart box, several pay-per-view channels, and Paragard service call protection, all for just $19.95 a month. Just order standard cable and you get the HBO Showtime discount value package for $19.95 a month. To order, call 1-800-800-CABLE. That's 1-800-800-CABLE. Order now and installation is free. Some restrictions apply. Call Paragon for details.